Do you believe like you made the right decision on doing an agent? Because obviously, I know you have a strong desire to like do info and go all in on info.
Right.
Um, do you believe it was a good move to start with agency, or do you feel like if you just went info, it'd be
So,
good?
so I would say this: beginners, especially where I'm talking about myself when I was in the online business world when I was first getting in, maybe just limiting belief by me. But to start an info business, you need some type of credibility or proof or expertise in some way, shape, or form that people will buy from you, right?
Yeah.
At that time, I was 19; I didn't really have anything, and so I was like, you know what? Let me.
Well, it depends. It
Yeah,
depends on
there
the
we go.
position of the offer.
100%. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But at that stage, but most beginners I feel like wouldn't know that. That's the only thing. And so, yeah,
Incompetency.
incompetency. And
Yeah.
so I started a service
Mhm.
because I was like, instead of, I don't have much expertise or domain right now. I'll just start a service because I'd rather just pay with my time rather than like people paying me for like my expertise because at that point I didn't really have shit.
Mhm.
And so I think at the when I started my agency, it was the right move.
Uh-huh.
And I think most beginners they won't have the positioning expertise and whatnot. And so at that stage or point where I was at, I think I made the right choice. But if you're some type of like if you have expertise in anything, like let's say you're really good at playing the piano, there's a piano back there in this restaurant we're at. If
Yeah.
you have some expertise in playing the piano, but you're a regular 18-year-old, but you can play the piano really good, you can easily start an info business that just teach people how to do piano and be a master at piano, right?
If you're good at
Yeah,
it.
if you're good at it. But at that point of time where I was 18, 19, starting a business, I didn't really have much. I was just a regular college student that just played video games. Maybe I could have done a video game info offer. I don't know.
There is. We helped someone who does
Yeah,
video
there
game.
is.
He
There
did
is.
45K in a month.
There you go. There it is. There it is. But again, I guess at least for me, contextually applied,
Uh-huh.
I believe I made the right decision, just because at that point in time, that's what made the most sense for me. So
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like info is one of the best ones to start off with because profit margins are high.
right,
It's a cash machine. And you'll just like, especially if you're young and you start with info, you'll just have more liquid capital in the bank that you could use that for a lot of stuff. You know
right,
what I mean?
right,
Resources.
right,
And because of the nature of info, it's so competitive. Like if you come into a completely different market, like let's say a shampoo business,
right,
dude, you could run over the
right,
competition because
right,
if you manage to do it with like info where it's like super competitive, let's say you're doing like you have a fitness offer or whatever,
right,
right? The market is so saturated, which means it works, but you're gonna have to figure out an angle to be able to
right,
combat that.
right,
And if you come to some business like shampoo where there's all these old people, they don't know stuff about AI, they don't know how distribution well, all that stuff. Maybe they're still relying on referrals or something like
right,
that,
right.
right? Dude, you could
No, they're
run
not.
through the competition. So I view it more as the skill that you learn in info becomes so valuable depending on where you position that skill
Right,
towards. Because I
right.
feel like skill, income always traces skill.
Hmm.
And I feel like where would you learn the most skills the quickest?
Hmm.
I feel like it's info.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I say still agency because
Really?
I'm just thinking I'm thinking of that 18-year-old Aryan, where
Uh-huh.
he just doesn't have any expertise, and so I'd rather you go out and do a service for someone and get them some type of
Info
result.
is a service, though. You're providing a service to
Yes,
people.
but what would you provide as expertise?
An
You know what I mean?
expertise? What do
Like
you
if you're
mean?
an average kid, like average kid,
Okay, an
B and
average
C,
kid. Okay, give me an example of an average kid.
you're a B and C student, you're about to graduate high school, no sports at all. Like maybe you just play video games at home. I was describing myself. No sports at all. You don't really play much. You just
Were
play
you good
video
at the
games.
video game?
I was average.
How was that? What else did you do?
That was really
Well,
it.
you know how to speak English.
Right.
You could teach people how to speak English, and you just position yourself where you help Japanese people learn how to
Oh,
talk
sure,
English. And
sure,
dude, we literally have an English language. One of those guys
sure,
made like over hundreds of
sure,
thousands. You know?
sure. But I'm saying like, how would that guy learn the positioning to do that and
Yeah,
have the competence to do that?
yeah.
That's why
You
I'm
invest, right?
right,
Invest in
right,
program. So realistically, it's just about positioning
right,
because everyone has a valuable skill depending on who you are providing the value to. Like if you're trying to teach, like let's say you teach AI, like if you're using AI a lot,
hmm,
right? You know how to use AI, and you already know how to use it. And I'm like, hey, Aryan, I'm gonna build you a website with
right,
AI. You want
yeah,
me to pay 5K? You'd be like,
yeah,
hell no, I know how to do it.
yeah,
Just put the paces front. But if you go to some old guy,
right,
old business owner, and you're
right,
like, hey, I want to do this AI stuff for you. They don't know anything about it. It's just positioning and
right,
the value that you could provide for this person.
right. I would still say service because at that when you're that young and you don't have maybe you don't have the position where even like okay, hey, maybe I can go teach English. what you do have is time and energy, and you can use that time and energy to provide a service for someone, and they'll pay you back for it. So for me, I would say
Isn't info? It's a service though.
not really. It's not done for you.
There, you could have some done for you.
But again, a beginner won't know that. That's what I'm saying. If I had to go back, 18-year-old Aryan, he would be too scared to do that. And it's super easy to, and this is where I would say for beginners, the downfall of info is no one's going to pay you 5K for a course, especially if you're not an expert in that field, right? And so the unique advantage you have with the agency is you can go to the agency, you can go to a roofing business, let's say I run ads, say, hey, I will work with you on a performance basis, pure free, and you just pay me per lead, for example.
But luckily, most of the people who watch this, they already have a business.
Yeah,
They're already
yeah,
making,
yeah.
you know, probably like
Yeah.
50K, 60K,
Yeah, yeah.
like our viewers, right? And I've noticed a lot that a lot of agency owners, they want to start an info. Do you feel like that's just a distraction though? Because like if they like agency, why don't they just keep doing that?
I think the agency model hits a ceiling after 100, 200K a month.
You think so?
I'm not
Well,
at that point yet.
aren't there agencies that have done more?
100%, but your profit margins go lower and lower and lower just because you have to hire more CSMs, you have to hire more people for delivery and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so from what I've seen across the board for the agency owners, they get to 100K, 200K, 250K. It's harder and harder to scale that because their margins go lower and lower.
This guy's about to start his info again soon.
Let's see. Let's see it.
He's going through the pathway.
The pipeline, the agency owner pipeline.
Yeah.
I'll be there soon.
Yeah, so to wrap up this video, basically, to be honest, I still feel like my thoughts are starting with info is better. That's what I think. Because, dude, you could just make so much high profit. Dude, it's pretty simple to get to 100K a month, even like getting to $1 million a month at that point. If you have marketing dialed in, traffic, right? And you have your offer dialed in, and then you could deliver a great service,
Right.
and then you just scale that up. Then it's just having sales teams,
Right.
managing sales teams.
My only thing is the competence. If you're, again, I'm going to use the 18-year-old example, maybe doesn't have expertise, doesn't know how to position it, it's much easier for him to just pick a service, say, go.
No, they could learn from someone who's done it, though.
Right, 100%. But then most people, I feel like, would be too scared. It's a mindset thing for them. They'd be too scared to charge that much. But maybe it's a mindset thing. They buy a course and they go through it. But they could easily, I feel like, get started by just doing a performance-based offer for somebody else. But both work. I'm not denying it. But I'm just looking at it from my perspective.
They could use that. They could do a little bit of done for you element to get the info client in the first place,
Right.
and then use that proof to get more info clients.
Well, what would be done for you info?
Yeah, like for example, like a done for you. Like let's say you're helping someone. Give me an offer. For example, give me a random offer. Like let's say you're helping someone.
Outbound? Cold email?
Cold email outbound. Let's say you're helping someone with that. You could help them install the entire infrastructure,
Right.
but still frame it as like info, but with just done for you elements, so you could collect testimonials. And then from there, you use that testimonials. You have proof now, and just get more clients.
Right,
But you more.
At that point, you're pretty much like a half info, half agency.
You start off with a little bit of stuff
agency,
done for you, and then you scale info.
Yeah.
Because long term, I feel like there's just more cash. The only thing is like, I mean, there's people that have gone to billions with info too. Right. So.
Yeah, both can work. I'm not doubting. I'm just saying it from my perspective. If I was 18-year-old already again.
Yeah, this is interesting.